and welcome to Real Talk Tonight. I'm your host, Makayla Mikey Verbruggen. Today, I am joined by the incredible, beautiful, stunning, amazing, incredible, one-of-a-kind, special, sweet, beautiful. Did I mention that? Meagan King, who is the director of Farmers for Climate Solutions, and Jared DeVries, who is the DP. How are you guys doing today?
I'm just doing so good that I'm with you right now.
I know. I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
Mwah.
I'm also glad to be here.
Yeah, okay. Can you just give me like a rundown of what this PSA is about?
So the PSA story follows these two farmers. We have an older generational farmer that's more of your typical, like, has done farming the way his father has as his father before. And then we have a new farmer who is just coming into this industry, I guess is the right term to say, and just trying to make his own stance on it. And he goes and kind of inspires the older farmer and teaches him this like new ways of farming and more sustainable ways of farming that he may have not known about.
So, coming across this organization, Jared, you can speak more to that. So, how did you find this lovely organization to work with?
So originally I had directed a documentary called Beyond the Pasture, and when I was making it, interviewing our main subject, my cousin actually, Lummert Kunstra, he had talked about soil health, and I thought, man, that's an interesting topic. It would be like a nice thing to do a PSA about. Is there any organizations who focus on that? And so I had to do a little digging and do some research, and I found this organization, Farmers for Climate Solutions, and I reached out to them, and they got back to me, and then we started working ever since.
That's awesome. So sustainability is kind of a big thing for FMTV. Can you guys talk about like any fun facts that you might have learned while researching or doing this PSA?
I know like a big one that, and we even have this in our PSA, and it says the statistic of how like 10% of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions is from the agriculture industry.
Wow.
Which is crazy. People don't think, it's like crazy to think about like how agriculture is like harming itself because like, you know, if we don't have a good environment, then we completely lose the agriculture industry because you know, everything's mostly done outside. You need good crop yields and stuff, and like how the weather's been going, and it's been like really hard for a lot of farmers that way. So they're kind of almost like kicking themselves in the butt with how if farmers are not using sustainable practices to help better and further farming, and actually using sustainable practices helps create, especially for crop farmers, like bigger crop yields and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Jared?
I just remember when I was like early on working on the PSA, just like hearing about how much damage kind of is done by unsustainable practices. Like there's only so much like topsoil, like soil that is used for agriculture available on Earth. And it's like because of unsustainable practices, we're at like, by 2050, we'll be at like a quarter of what we had a century ago. So if we do like keep doing this, we're gonna like run out of topsoil. So we need to start like moving towards doing like stuff that's gonna regenerate that topsoil.
Was there something about like this project that you kind of like learned overall or in your roles, your respected roles?
I think I just learned how to direct. Like I've never directed anything since like my B&B, since like I guess like from first year, and like it was my first time ever kind of directing a big project, which was an amazing opportunity. I loved it so much, and yeah, I just kind of learned how to like I guess be in that type of leadership because I'm so used to producing, and like learning how to take like kind of the creative more side of leadership than just being more technical, if that makes sense.
I'd say I had almost the opposite experience where I'm kind of used to being the director and then was brought on to be the DP. And I just wanted to make sure that as much as possible I was like serving Megan's vision for the project and wanted to make sure that like, yes, bring like any creative ideas I might have, but like make sure Megan gets what she wants.
But even I do have to say, like, Jared came up with the original concept. Like, I think we always knew from the beginning it was going to be two farmers talking to each other in, like, a cafe.
Yeah.
It was, like, the original thing. I do want to say that. Jared came up with the original concept. I just, like, added a little
I definitely
bit to it.
think
Added a little bit to it.
I think you, like, put your own touch on it, and I, like, was very happy with how it ended up.
Okay, that's good. Don't make me cry on this. I'm happy. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure you and Evan were especially happy because you two were the both who came up with the original concept.
Mm.
After doing a project like this, talking about, like, that's really scary to learn that in 2050 we're going to be losing all this valuable earth that we need to kind of survive. But have you guys implemented any, like, sustainability into your own lives?
It's made me like want to talk more like about farming and talk about, because this is like, it's such a weird thing, is like this is like a very big family background for me, farming, and it's kind of something that when I first got into filmmaking I didn't think there was going to be a lot of crossover with. So I've gotten more into talking about, and specifically talking about like sustainable farming and like bringing that up to people and talking about how things can change and we can still like have the best of everything.
I think what I mostly do is like, I think I've taken a lot of this stuff, like I've really digitalized everything mostly, like going very digital and not like trying to use paper. I think especially like on set a lot, like I'm so used to like having a clipboard with like the script and a copy or whatever, all these things. I just digitalized everything. I only had my iPad and I just carried that around with me. I had like my storyboards, the script, any of notes I wanted to know when I was doing stuff, the shot list, everything. And so I think like I've noticed that more, I feel like, is like I'm just not printing as much as I used to. I'm now just like fully digitalized, which is good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I got into this program, one of the things that I wanted was an iPad, because I knew that I wanted to, first of all, it's a little bit easier, but also I wanted to make sure like that I was being sustainable, because storyboarding takes a lot of time and a lot of paper and a lot of pencils, but just doing something as simple as just switching to digitalized media is, I can imagine, a pretty significant change.
Yeah. Well, like think of like, I think my storyboard was probably like maybe 10 pages, like of just, you know, like probably more than that. I'm trying to even think, it's probably way more than that. So like that's like a crazy save on just that, making that just all digitalized and doing it all digital.
And what do you guys kind of hope the takeaway is for this PSA?
My big hope is just like, especially like I tried to make it as much like when I was really trying to think of like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Like I want to have farmers watch it and really relate to it, be like, look into Stan, the older farmer, look into Ben, the younger farmer, and be like, yes, that's me. Like I want them to like, those farmers to really like feel like they can relate to those characters and relate to maybe their situations they are in. And so that was like my big takeaway. I want to really hope this hits the agriculture industry, and because I don't think a lot of people know that. Like we filmed some bits at my uncle's farm, and I was telling him like what I was doing, like, oh, I'm doing this PSA in sustainable farming. He's like, what is sustainable farming? So you know, so I think like it's just a lot of, especially like, yeah, like from small towns or old country folk farmers, they do not realize this exists and that they should be doing it, because of, especially because of the crazy statistic about the topsoil, and they're going to be losing it soon. So exactly.
So is there anything else you guys kind of want to add today?
I'm so sorry. I just got lost in her eyes.
I
Oh, I'm
know.
so sorry.
God.
Oh, what was the question again?
You know what? Do you guys have anything to add? Sorry, I got lost in her eyes now. Jesus.
No.
Sick. All right. So that was Farmers for Climate Solutions PSA. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your very busy schedules to be here today. And, you know, you both are just very talented individuals, and I'm just really excited to see what the future holds for both of you. Because, my God, you've already, wait, weren't you already here?
You were here already?
Wait a minute. But thank you again, guys. It was a pleasure having you. You're both intelligent. You both are oh my God.
You as well.
You as well.
No, you guys are incredibly talented. There we go.
Yeah.
Jeez. You guys are incredibly talented, and my God, you're so beautiful. We will see you guys next time on Real Talk Tonight. Bye.
Is this queer bait?
Is this queer bait?
gotta
No,
support.
it's
keep,
my
keep
beloved
that in the
goddess.
final.
We gotta support queer spaces, man.
You know what?
Shout out.
Support queer
We
spaces.
support queer spaces, guys.